In just a moment, Autolite presents Suspense with Jimmy Cagney.
Hello. Tonight I understand we have an Autolite Suspense special. Every bit as special as your star performance as the Autolite Resistor Spark Plug Maestro.
Is that a plug for me or for my favorites Autolite Resistor Spark Plugs, Hap?
Well, with no offense to either, Harlow, it's neither. Tonight, Jimmy Cagney and Autolite and Suspense are dramatizing one of our great American tragedies. It's so tremendous a problem it warrants our entire nation warring against its grimness and the Grim Reaper who is its symbol. Tonight's Suspense story will remind you to drive carefully behind Autolite Resistor Spark Plugs or any other, Harlow.
Then let's join the Autolite audience and listen.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. James Cagney in Anton Leader's production of No Escape, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The only thing I can do now is tell you how it happened, without any bunk. I don't care what you've heard or read about me. I'm not a devil or a mad dog. I don't know what people think happens to a fella. Do they think all of a sudden I turned into stone? I'm no different than anybody else. If I don't eat, I get hungry. If I cut myself shaving, I bleed. I'm just like the next guy, and that's the whole idea. This it happened to me, sure, but it would have happened to anybody. It could have happened to you. It was supposed to have been one of them days you circle on the calendar with a red pencil. You see, with a little town like ours, 23 miles from the big city, right on the main highway, we get the speed artists going both ways. Yeah, and every couple of days they manage to leave something behind to remember them by. Like a kid with a broken back or, well, you get the idea. So a couple of years ago, the Chamber of Commerce started a safety campaign to name the safest driver of the year. Something to kind of keep the guys in their toes. And this year, the fellow they chose for the award was yours truly. And tonight was the big doings with a few well-chosen words from me, a lad who was a public speaker, was a wonderful bus driver. I got to the house a little after 6. Teddy, my kid brother, was just leaving.
Hiya, big shot.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, the world's champion driver.
That's me, all right.
Hey, that's a swell picture of you in the paper. You don't look so bad for an older man.
Right, or I'll beat your ears in.
Say, Eve called to say you should wear your blue suit and try to look human. That I would like to see.
Me, too.
Sorry, I can't wait, though. I'm late for a date. I'll see you in the morning, and you can tell me how you slaved.
All right, Ted. So long. I gave myself the works. Shower, shave, the blue suit like the lady said. Eve looked after me like I was at least 5 years old. Well, I didn't mind a bit. Ever since Ma died in 42, I kept the house going for Teddy, because a kid needs something like that. But he was getting out of school in June, and then maybe Eve and well, it was nice thinking about it. So nice that I guess I forgot all about the time that was passing. Yeah?
Look, slow motion, you should be halfway over here by now.
Okay, Eve, honey. Got the speech ready?
Yes, but if you don't get moving, you'll be making that speech to a bunch of empty chairs and dirty plates.
Yes, Mama. Be right over. Eve lived outside of town. I'd really have to step on it to pick her up and spend some time rehearsing the speech. I'd then get to the high school auditorium by 8. I got into the car, and I decided to take the canyon road through the hills where there wasn't any traffic. I could make better time that way. Now, wait just a second. Let me get my thoughts together. I got to get this part exactly right. You've got to see it just like it happened, or else it's all a waste of time. All right. I was on the canyon road that wound up through the steep hills, the wall of the mountain on one side of the road, and the deep canyon on the other. About 10 to 7, but already dark. Nobody on the road but me, so I stuck pretty close to the middle. And at every turn, the scream of the tires. But I wasn't worried about that. 4 brand new tires, hardly a week old, and good brakes. I never take chances with things like that. Going about 50 miles an hour, maybe a little bit better. But I was all alone on the road, so what difference did it make? I was maybe 2/3 of the way up to the top, right where the road makes a wide curve. I remember I put a cigarette in my mouth, and I pushed the dashboard lighter in. I heard the lighter click, and I started reaching for it. And then a pair of headlights blazing out of nowhere. And then a screeching horn, a car coming the other way. I felt my inside double up like a fist. I slammed my foot on the brake, swung the steering wheel to the right. I didn't feel anything hit, and I thought, oh, God, it's going to be okay. I jammed on the emergency. I jerked the door open. I looked back. The road was empty. I still heard the horn, though, but far away, and another sound, too, like a bunch of empty crates toppling over and over. And at first, it didn't register with me. For maybe half a second, I just stood there wondering what happened. Then I saw the reflection of the flame lighting up the whole canyon. I went to the side of the road and looked down. The car was about 500 feet below, burning. And the horn still blasting away, like the driver's body had fallen against it. I started down the canyon. It was almost straight down. I fell and I rolled, and I came to my feet again. Why didn't that horn stop? Why didn't it stop? And then it did stop. And I realized that I had stopped too. What was I waiting for? Oh, to get my wind, that's all. I went down another few feet. And I stopped again, holding myself against the tree. Come on, Harry. Get going. No. What good would it do to get down there? I couldn't help whoever was in that car. It was too late. Nobody could help. Then far down the road, I saw another pair of headlights starting the long climb. I went back to my car. I told myself I was going for help. I drove on to the top of the hill. There was a little gas station up there. They'd have a phone. I was almost there. An old fellow in white overalls was putting around the pumps. I started slowing down. My whole life was about to be smashed. I'd have to tell them the truth, and what good would it do? What about Eve? What about my kid brother Teddy? What's more important than a man's own family? I'd reached the gravel driveway, the gas station. The old guy heard me coming and started straightening up. Now, I swung back onto the highway and pushed the accelerators to the floor. I got to Eve's house a little before 7:30. It was funny. I thought I was okay until I reached for the door handle. And then my fingers seemed to go dead, and my heart started going a mile a minute.
Harry? Is that you?
That's me. Sorry I'm late, Eve.
Oh, where in heaven's name have you been? Honestly, if you aren't the most aggravating... Harry Graham. What? Huh? Look at you. You look like you've been run through a threshing machine.
Yeah, I know. Let's go in and out. I'll clean up a little.
Well, what in the world happened?
I had a flat tire. I had to change it on the road.
Flat tire? Oh, fine. All right, wait right here. I'll get the whisk broom. Of all things to happen tonight.
All right. Happen. Lay off, will you?
Harry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, don't just stand there. While I'm doing this, take your comb out and start combing your hair.
Took my comb out and turned toward the hall mirror. Funny. I didn't look any different than yesterday or the day before that. I was still Harry Graham. After he finished with me, we went back to the car. Get in.
I tell you what, you're so upset anyhow. Why don't you let me drive into town?
Okay, if you want to.
See, now, I turn left at the next block, don't I, for the Canyon Road?
Canyon Road?
Yes, we can save some time going that way.
No.
Huh?
No, I don't want to go to Canyon Road. I want you to go the regular way.
Well, we're going to be late.
Do what I tell you. I'll drive the car myself.
But, Harry, we always...
Do what I tell you, Eve.
All right. I'll have to bite my head off. What have you got against Canyon Road?
It's too dangerous at night.
Well, all I've got to say is that when they picked you for the safest driver of the year, Harry Graham, they really hit the jackpot.
We got to the high school auditorium just a couple of minutes late. But as it turned out, we weren't the only ones late. When we got to the main table, I saw that the chair next to mine was empty. Police Chief Blake, who was supposed to introduce me for my speech, hadn't showed up yet. And when the dinner was ended, Chief Blake came through the door. And he looked awful. He went over to the chairman of the meeting and whispered something, pointing at me. And then he started for me, and I thought my heart would quit beating. I was looking for a way to escape, maybe when...
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Chief. Hello.
Folks, please. I'm sorry I'm so late. I've just come from Canyon Road. Another terrible accident. The car went over the canyon, 4 people killed and burned. We still haven't gotten them out of the wreckage. It looks like they were forced off the road. Another dirty hit-and-run case. My boys are up there now looking for traces of this other car. I don't have to tell you that we're going to keep on looking till we find out who it was. That's why I had one of my boys bring me back to town here to this meeting tonight. Because now it's even more important to let a fellow like our friend Harry Graham here know we appreciate his good work and wish to the saints there were more like him. Yes, after what I just saw on Canyon Road, I'm really proud of Harry Graham.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. James Cagney in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hap, this show hits with the zing of a set of Autolite resistor spark plugs. It gets me right between the optics.
Arlo, I've been doing a little research.
Yes?
The frigid facts on faulty driving should dispel the optical illusions of any automobile driver foolish enough to relax his vigilance for one single moment. Every 30 seconds, a man, woman, or child is injured on our streets or highways. This year, 32,300 people are doomed to death.
By Cornelius Hap, I never stopped to realize.
You know, Harlow, it takes 10 seconds and 336 feet to stop a car traveling at 60 miles an hour. That's why brains are more important than brakes. Why the man behind the wheel should beware of the speed at which he's driving. Why safe and sane are synonymous words to drivers who value their fellows' lives as well as their own.
In other words, Hap, just because Autolite resistor spark plugs give your car more pep, don't try to use all of it, eh?
Exactly, Harlow. But there's more. The Good Samaritan is the gracious guy or gal who not only knows and keeps the rules of the road, but also keeps his temper in his head when some bungling Benny gives him the road hog treatment.
Yes, Hap, it's sad but true that one right way to wrong driving is to always demand your highway rights. Be sure to be safe.
Right, Harlow. And now let's get back to Suspense.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. James Cagney as Harry in No Escape, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I had to keep my eyes on the table. I couldn't even look at the chief as he stood there praising me. All I could see was that burning wreck at the foot of the cliff, and all I could hear was that awful horn blowing. I had to bite my lips to keep from screaming, "I did it."
Harry. Harry.
What? Oh, what?
Open your Pete, son. We'd like to hear a few words from you.
Look, Chief, folks, I don't think anybody wants to listen to me tonight. Please, let's forget it.
No, Harry? Now more than ever, we should hear what a fellow like you has to say.
Come on, Harry. Hey, listen.
Go on, Harry.
Oh, well, all right. I'm afraid I'm no great shakes as a speech maker. Just a lucky thing my girl's a good English teacher. I don't believe we should honor a man for safe driving any more than we should honor him because he's never killed anyone with a gun. When a man gets behind the wheel of a car, he doesn't give up his responsibilities to his fellow men. No one can escape the responsibility of being his brother's keeper, and that goes for.
Harry, what's
Listen
wrong?
to me. How can I stand up here and read a speech after what Chief Blake just told us? No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
I guess Harry's right after all, folks. I guess maybe we just better call the meeting off. I know I've got to get back to Canyon Road as soon as I can.
Come on, Eve. Come on. Let's get out of here.
All right, honey.
Oh, Harry.
Yeah, Chief.
You can do me a big favor.
Huh?
Fellow brought me down here. Had to beat it right back to the accident.
Oh, so?
I've got to get back there myself right away. Can you give me a lift?
Well, I sure like to, Chief, but, well, I've got to get Eve home.
Well, you could take me home by the way of Canyon Road. We've gone that way before, honey.
But,
I'd be much obliged to you, Harry.
Well, you see, Chief, it's...
Harry.
Okay, let's go.
It's too bad the meeting had to end like this. But I have a hunch you feel like I do, Harry. Like you can't sit still till you find the rat who killed those people. Well, I promise you this, Harry. Whoever he is, we'll get him.
Yeah. Wasn't that one for the book? Less than 2 hours after my accident with the other car going over into the canyon, I was back on Canyon Road. Only this time with Eve sitting behind me and the chief of police in back.
Harry, you don't mind, could you step on it a little bit? I promise you I won't give you a ticket.
Okay, Chief.
Honey, push the lighter in, will you?
Lighter?
For my cigarette.
Oh, sure. This speed better, Chief?
Fine.
Harry hates this road. I wanted him to take it earlier tonight.
That's all right if you got good tires.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Had 4 brand new ones put on just last week. Oh, here's your light, Eve. Eve.
Huh? Oh. Thanks.
Her voice didn't sound right. And then I remembered. When I picked her up tonight, I told her the reason I was so messed up was that I'd had to change a tire. She was thinking about that now. I knew she was, trying to figure out why I'd lied to her. Nobody said anything after that. When we reached the part of the road just before it made the big bend, I started slowing down. I hope I got you here quick enough, Chief.
Yeah, you did fine.
Is this where it was?
Yeah, just around this bend.
Yeah, that's right.
But how did...
Huh?
Nothing. Again, I'd said the wrong thing. What was the matter with me? How was I supposed to know that accident was around the bend? I was cutting my own throat, but now I'd made the turn, and there was the red flag burning on the road, and a big crash truck at the edge of the canyon, and police cars blocking the highway.
Just pull over the side, Harry.
Okay.
Now they're coming down there, Fraser.
Hold on, Chief. You're ready to start bringing them up soon.
That's a walkie-talkie he's working with?
Yeah. Keeps contact with the men down the canyon. Say, Harry, why don't you come along with me and really see how we work here?
Oh, thanks, but I've got to get Yvonne home. The school teacher's got to get up early. Isn't that right, baby?
I don't mind waiting if you'd like to stay.
Huh?
Yeah, come along, Harry.
Oh, but,
I don't mind waiting, Harry.
Now it was me against all of them. Oh, I was sick about that car down there in the canyon, those 4 bodies inside. But, well, nothing could change that now. And I was fighting for my own life. And they wouldn't break me down. I stood with my foot on the bumper, and Chief Blake leaning against the fender of my car while his boys gave him their reports about the hit-and-run car. And it didn't bother me a bit.
Oh.
2 of them told about the plastic cast they'd made of a tire mark they found on the road. Does it help you any, Chief?
Not much, Harry. New tire. A lot of people have new tires. You, for instance.
I kicked my new front tire for them, kicked it hard. They brought over an old fellow in white overalls. The guy in the service station where I'd almost turned in to report the accident. The chief asked him if he thought the car he'd seen was a hit and run.
It must have been just about that time, you know. And the way this fella skedoodled away for no reason at all. I don't know what kind of a car it was, though. A black sedan, I'd say.
Like this one, maybe?
Well, might be that. But there's too dark to be sure.
Well, first thing tomorrow, I'm going to get myself a green convertible. And everybody got a good laugh out of that, but I would have to be careful. Mustn't go too far. It was me against all of them, and I felt the kind of excitement that a guy might get from walking a tightrope. Thinking back now, sure seems screwy, but that's how I felt. And maybe that is the worst thing that happens to a guy in my spot. The way it turns you into a wild animal against the world.
Chief Blake.
Hey, yeah, Charlie.
It was the fellow with the walkie-talkie over near the crash truck.
We're ready to start bringing up the bodies.
Okay. Come on, Harry. Let's go over.
Something flopped coldly in my stomach, and then lay still. This was the test. If they didn't break me down now, they could never do it, never in a million years. All the people who'd come up from the town started gathering around the crash truck. I wanted to run and never stop running. But I didn't move. And just then, the first body swung into view. And you could hear everyone in the crowd suck in his breath. And I bit down hard on my lip till I tasted blood. A brown blanket wrapped neatly around something, and then the bundle rested on the ground. And everyone seemed to edge away from it like it could hurt them. And the cable went down into the valley again. And then there was a second bundle. And then there was a third. And then a fourth. And over like a drum beat, like a prayer, I told myself they wouldn't break me down. And then someone pushed forward from the crowd. Joe Mandel, the little tailor. He seemed shy and embarrassed, as though he had no business being here.
Chief Blake.
Huh? Oh, yeah, Joe.
Well, my boy, Philip, he didn't come home for supper tonight.
You want to look?
Well, you know how a woman is. Rose will feel better if I tell her, okay, I looked and it wasn't... Well, you know.
Oh, all right, Joe. Doesn't hurt none.
Thank you. No. No. I'd better go back to my Rose.
Sorry, Joe. Wait a minute.
Yes?
Do you know who Phil was going to be with tonight?
His best friend was Mike Roebuck. They were always together. The Goldust twins, everybody called them.
Thanks, Joe.
Excuse me, Chief. I must go to Rose now.
Fraser!
Yes, Chief.
Get back to town. Go over the Roebucks. Don't tell them anything is wrong. Just see if Mike's home.
Okay.
I couldn't take any more. I started back for the car. My legs felt like they weighed a ton. I heard a sudden movement in the crowd behind me.
Oh, no! Oh, my baby!
They wouldn't break me down. They wouldn't break me down. I opened the car door. And Eve was there. I'd almost forgotten her. And I was sure she knew the truth.
They brought up all four?
Yeah.
Harry.
I don't want to hear anything now. I'm taking you home.
Wait, Harry.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Kiss me, Harry.
What?
Hold me and kiss me. I'm such a stupid fool. Hold me.
All right. Now stop it.
Harry, if you knew what's been going through my mind.
Okay. Stop it.
Just a fool, a stupid fool. And then when I saw you come back to the car, the look on your face. Oh, Harry, how could I have ever thought...
No, all right. Now, we'll talk about it later.
I'll never talk about it again. Never, Harry.
So, it was all over with. I was going to be okay. God, I wasn't proud. I felt rotten and sick. And now that it was all over, the strength ran out of me like water running out of a glass. But what good would it have been to crucify myself? It wouldn't have changed anything. I wasn't a bad guy. It could have happened to anybody. And now I was going to be able to take care of my own. Eve and my kid brother Teddy. Was that a bad guy? A fellow who wanted to do right for his family? I started the car. I put in gear, and looking at me through the windows was Chief Blake, signaling me to wait. I turned the key off. Well, whatever it was, I was very tired.
Come on out, Harry.
But I've got to get Eve home.
Come on out of the car.
But...
Harry, do like I tell you. Come with me.
What do you want?
Come with me. When you drove up here tonight, I didn't think it would end like this.
You know about it?
You, of all people, Harry.
Listen, you've got to believe me.
It shouldn't have happened to a fellow like you.
You've got to hear my side.
Right here, Harry.
Huh? What? What do you...
Take a look at this fourth body.
Why should I?
Pull the blanket back, Harry.
Oh. No. No. Teddy. Teddy! That's it. The whole works. I don't care what you heard or read in the papers. That's the story, just like it happened. No bunk. And thinking back, I guess I kind of hit the nail on the head in that speech that I made that night. You know, that part about no man can ever escape the responsibility of being his brother's keeper.
Thank you, James Cagney, for a magnificent performance. Mr. Cagney will return in just a moment.
Well, Hap, after that performance of Jimmy Cagney's and your heartfelt expressions on the rights and wrongs of the driving man, it's hard to switch the conversation to Autolite resistor spark plugs.
Well, Harlow, I'm sure you'll find a way.
Yes, I think I'll just say, friends, switch to a set of Autolite resistor spark plugs just as quickly as you can swing into a service station. When you replace your narrow gap spark plugs with wide gap Autolite resistor spark plugs, your car will idle smoother, give you better luck with lean gas mixtures, actually save you gas dollars. What's more, Autolite resistor spark plugs cut down spark plug interference with radio and television reception. Switch to Autolite resistor spark plugs today. And remember, Autolite means spark plug.
Ignition-engineered resistor spark plug.
Autolite means batteries.
Stay full batteries.
Autolite means ignition system.
The lifeline of your car.
And now here again is Mr. James Cagney.
It's always a pleasure to appear on Suspense, but I was especially pleased when Tony Leader asked me to do tonight's story. That's because I feel strongly about the kind of thing that happened to Harry Graham. I believe that any person who gets behind the wheel of a car assumes a great responsibility to himself, to his family, to his fellow men. That one moment of carelessness or recklessness or drunkenness can mean a lifetime of pain and misery for someone. And it might be you or me. Yes, when you're driving an automobile, we are our brother's keeper. Over the holiday season and all the time, drive carefully. Next week on radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Herbert Marshall will appear in a story with a Christmas atmosphere. Another study in
Suspense.
James Cagney is now appearing in the photoplay of William Saroyan's prize stage hit, The Time of Your Life. Copies of tonight's suspense play, No Escape, by Larry Marcus, will be available for educational use by groups interested in highway safety. They may be obtained by writing Suspense, the Columbia Broadcasting System, Hollywood, California. Music was composed by Lucian Morawek and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Ronald Coleman, Robert Montgomery, Dana Andrews, and Frank Sinatra. Make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear Herbert Marshall.
This is the Autolite Suspense Show. All right, Mr. Wilcox.
Autolite and CBS wish to thank the radio editors and columnists of America for electing Suspense as the best mystery show in the annual balloting conducted by Motion Picture Daily for the magazine Fame.
Good night. Switch to Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. In just a moment, Autolite presents Suspense with Herbert Marshall. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and in Santa Claus' sleigh, the electrical system was plenty okay. The ignition was perfect, worked like a dream, and the sleigh ran so smooth it made Santa beam.
What was Santa's secret, Arno?
I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "It's no secret at all. It's just Autolite.
Now, Harlow.
You see, Hap, with all the kids in the world depending on old St. Nick Christmas Eve, he plays safe by replacing old or worn-out parts in his Autolite-equipped sleigh with Autolite original factory parts. Resistor spark plugs, stay full batteries, distributors, starting motors, coils, generators, wire, and cable. All famous for their Autolite ignition-engineered dependability. Santa does it. Why don't you?
Harlow, let's switch from Santa to Suspense.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. Herbert Marshall in Anton Leader's production of John Collier's Holiday Story. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun. Just right. Little one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells.
Wilfred!
Yes, my dear.
What on earth are you doing down here in the cellar?
Why, just doing a little digging.
And why, may I ask, have you chosen this day of all days to dig up the cellar floor?
Well, I thought as the weather's been so damp, this would be a good time to plant that little devil's garden I told you about.
Devil's garden? What kind of nonsense is that?
Oh, that was my little joke about it. You see, I've managed to get hold of the spores of several unclassified wild orchids.
Oh.
In their wild state, they bloom under damp masses of leaf mold. The Araucanian Indians call them devil flowers because they appear to bloom under the ground.
Well, I'm sure the Araucanian Indians will be very interested if you succeed in growing these ridiculous flowers under the cellar floor. Whom else it will interest, I can't imagine. Ooh, what's that terrible smell?
That's the leaf mold. Chemically identical with the earth blanket they grow under in the wild state. I thought I should line the pit with concrete so as to prevent seepage from this foreign soil, but I don't suppose there'll be much time for it now, and I do want to get these started before we close the house.
There certainly will not be time for it. You realize that we're sailing for America a week from today, and you've made no arrangements whatever. Unless you call digging a hole in the cellar making arrangements. I certainly don't. Devil's garden, indeed. Sometimes I think you're going soft in the head, Wilfred.
I suppose it is inconsiderate of me. You see, I've been wanting to try this experiment for a long, long time, but what with my lectures and seminars at the university, there never seemed the time.
Well, there certainly isn't any time for it now. I suppose you've forgotten I made an appointment for you at the barber's this afternoon.
Oh, no. But, must I shave off my beard, Hermione?
I thought we'd been through all that. Of course you must. They don't wear beards in America. Go get your jacket on and do as I tell you.
Yes, Hermione.
And don't forget to take your umbrella. It looks like rain.
Yes, Hermione.
Oh, don't look so put upon, Wilfred.
No,
Someone has to plan things in this house, or you'd never even get to the university in time for your lectures, much less make arrangements for a trip to America.
Oh, I know. But what about my specimens?
There'll be plenty of time to plant your precious devil's garden when we get home from America. We're not going to be gone forever, you know. We'll be back here for the holidays.
Oh, yes, of course, back for the holidays. I've forgotten.
We'll try to remember it. And if you can't do that, just do as I tell you. I've been making the plans in this house for 20 years. And if there's any digging to be done, I'll manage that as well. You understand, Wilfred?
Yes, Hermione.
Good. You have just 20 minutes to clean up this mess down here and keep your appointment at the barber's. And when you finish there, I want you to come straight home.
Oh, I wanted to stop and pick up some books I ordered.
Well, all right. But don't loiter the whole afternoon browsing over those old books the way you usually do. Now hurry and clear up this rubbish. Get rid of that smelly stuff. And no more digging, mind you.
Yes, Hermione. Yes, Hermione. How many years has it been since I've been saying that? 10 years, 15, 20? Clear up the rubbish. Yes, Hermione. Don't forget your umbrella. Yes, Hermione. Do this, do that. Yes, Hermione. Yes. How much longer can I stand this?
evening, sir.
Good evening, Miss Markham.
Why, it is Professor Carpenter, isn't it?
Oh, you like me better this way?
Oh, you look ever so much younger without the beard. 20 years at least.
20 years.
You'll be glad to know those books you ordered have finally arrived.
Books?
Phytotomy of phaloid gametophytes and coniferous shrubs of North America. Those are the ones you ordered, aren't they?
Yes, thank you. You're very kind, Miss Markham.
What kind, Professor Carpenter?
Not many young ladies in bookshops would go out of their way to look up rare books for an old professor of botany.
Well, you're not old, Professor Carpenter. Really, you look... And besides, I adore botany. It's my particular hobby.
Oh, really? You never told me that before, Miss Markham.
I was afraid to. You were so imposing with the beard and all.
Miss Markham.
Yes?
Forgive me if this sounds foolish, but I feel that shaving off my beard is the most important thing I've done for 20 years.
Oh, it is. I'm sure it is. I'm ashamed that I've been so distant with you all this time. Oh, there were times when I almost spoke up. Times when you came in here tired after a day with your students at the university. You seemed so alone, the way I'm alone in the world. I'd like to have asked you to stay a while and talk with me. But some way or other, I wound up by giving you your change and letting you go on your way.
You say you're all alone in the world?
Since my father died.
Did you never think of marrying?
My father was a very remarkable man. I never found anyone who seemed to measure up to what he led me to expect of men.
Miss Markham.
It's been so long since anyone called me by my first name. I'd like you to, if you want to. It's Marion.
Marion.
And yours?
Wilfred.
Oh, how long have you been alone, Wilfred?
Alone?
Oh, I knew you were a widower, of course, the first time I saw you.
A widower?
I can always tell. There's a certain sadness in a man's eyes, a sweet sadness, I think, when he's been married and then...
A widower. I never thought of it in quite that way.
Perhaps I shouldn't be talking like this, but I've often wondered what she must have been like. Your wife, I mean.
Hermione?
Was that her name?
Yes, Hermione. Not an easy woman to forget. Very strong, always managing things. The house, my wardrobe, my friends. When we dined at a restaurant, she even ordered my food. She was always managing things. You might say she... Yes, she managed herself to death.
Poor woman. She must have loved you very much. But she needn't have put herself out so. It's plain to see you don't need things managed for you.
Is that so?
You need companionship, I think. Someone sympathetic with your work. But the last thing on earth you need is a manager.
How well you put it. The last thing on earth.
Well, at last. You certainly took long enough about it. What are you looking so pleased about?
I don't know, Hermione. Getting rid of the beard, perhaps. I feel 20 years younger.
Oh, look even smaller. Your face looks triangular or something. I'd forgotten your chin was so weak. But never mind that. You can grow it back soon enough after the holidays. Where are you going?
Down in the cellar.
Oh.
I just bought this electric lantern, and I thought I'd put it away down there.
Now, whatever possessed you to buy a thing like that?
I don't know. I rather like this lantern. Might come in handy. Who knows?
Now, Wilfred, don't start digging down there again. I've 100 things to do putting the house in order before we leave. I want you to carry these boxes upstairs for me.
Yes, Hermione.
And if you are going down to the cellar, take this along and stuff it into the furnace.
Oh, this is my old bathrobe. I may need it.
Nonsense. I bought you a new one. Get rid of it. And don't start pottering down there with that devil's garden or whatever you call it.
I'm through digging, my dear. I think the pit is quite deep enough now for my devil's garden. It would all have to be carefully planned, of course. just as carefully planned as Hermione was planning the trip to America. We both went about our arrangements as the days passed. I spent all the time I could with Marion, and finally she consented. And then it was the last day, the big day. The day we were to sail for America.
Operator? Operator, are you there? I'm still waiting on that call to Salisbury. Well, put them on quickly. Hello. Is this Paul Holt and Son? It's Mrs. Wilfred Carpenter. Did you receive my letter? Good. Now remember, we'll be back for the holidays, and I want the job done without fail. What's that? Oh, no, I'll be sure he doesn't suspect anything. Send the bill to me in New York, as I instructed you, addressed in my name, of course. Oh, yes, I've already put them in the mail. You'll get them tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, here you are, Wilfred. Where have you been?
Backstairs. I dismissed the servants.
Dismissed the servants? But I've asked some friends of mine into a farewell tea. Go and tell them it's a mistake.
I'm afraid it's too late now. They've packed and gone.
You have messed things up properly. How many times have I told you to leave things to me? I make the plans around here.
Yes, Hermione.
You'll have to do better than this when I plan the trip home, or we'll never in the world be back here for the holidays.
Back here for the holidays, back here for the holidays. Must you keep saying that?
Why not? We are coming back for the holidays, aren't we?
And supposing I were offered a professorship in one of those wealthy American universities.
Nonsense. Americans care nothing for botany.
Luther Burbank was an American.
That's different. What have you ever done except muck around in the dirt with a lot of roots and tubers?
They asked me to lecture. That means something.
Of course they ask you to lecture. Americans will pay to hear any foreigner deliver a lecture. Once. Now, there's no use getting yourself in a state about this, Wilfred. No doubt this extra money will come in very handy when we arrive back for the
holidays.
Precisely. And it's no good you're making a joke of it. Heaven knows where you'd be today if I hadn't got a sense of time.
Yes, my dear Hermione.
And as you've been so foolish as to dismiss the servants, you may empty the ashtrays and straighten up this room while we're waiting for the guests to arrive. I'm going upstairs to change. Call me when they get here.
Yes, Hermione. Marion, it's Wilfred. No, my darling, nothing's wrong. My plans are the same, and yes, you've changed. No. We'll meet in New York and be married there. I'll explain why later. You'll have to trust me. Yes, my darling.
Wilfred?
Sorry, I can't talk any longer. Yes, I'll meet you in New York without fail. Until then, my darling.
Wilfred? Were you talking on the phone just now?
Yes, Hermione.
Whoever was it?
Freddie. Freddie Sinclair.
Didn't I hear you say something about meeting somebody in New York?
Oh, yes. Old Freddie said he might possibly get over there before we leave. I said, of course, we'd meet him there if he did decide to go.
He's very peculiar. But then all of your friends are peculiar.
Yes, Hermione.
And just look at your jacket. Have you been digging in that cellar again?
Yes, Hermione.
Well, there's no need for it. You can't possibly get that devil's garden thing finished. Go and change your clothes before the guests arrive.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. I see somebody coming up the walk now. Go and let them in.
Yes, Hermione.
Wilfred?
Yes, my dear?
Look out the window. There's Professor and Mrs. Goodenough, but who's that with them?
Why, it's...
Precisely. Freddie Sinclair. Surely you should have been talking to him on the phone not 3 minutes ago, and now here he is.
Yes, isn't it? But then, as you say, Hermione, all my friends are peculiar.
Not half so peculiar as you. Digging in the cellar an hour before we leave for America. Just look at yourself. And now that I think of it...
Yes, Hermione?
Oh, never mind. Go and let them in.
So you were going to ask me something. The hole I'm digging in the cellar.
Oh, good heavens. Stop rolling your eyes about that way. One would think you were digging a grave down there instead of a storage bin.
Yes, Hermione.
What's that?
I said yes, Hermione.
Oh, Father, open the door and stop saying yes, Hermione.
I think, my dear, I've said it for the last time.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Herbert Marshall in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Well, Hap, what kind of presents are you giving your car this Christmas?
My car? Now be sensible, Arlo.
I am being sensible, Hap, because the most sensible thing every car owner can do is treat his car to Autolite preventive service and Autolite factory parts now. Right now, like Santa does. For with an Autolite checkup now, your car won't let you down later.
Here we go.
Look, Hap, Autolite parts are original factory parts on many makes of our finest cars. The same as those put in the car the day it was made. Resistor spark plugs, stay full batteries, generators, distributors, starting motors, coils, wire, and cable. Your car uses them all. Autolite makes them all. You know, Autolite parts and your Autolite-equipped car go together, like Damon and Pythias, like Duncan and Fife, like Chip and Dale. What's one without the other?
Chip and Dale.
So don't accept parts that are supposed to be as good. Get Autolite parts, for Autolite parts are built for your car, Santa's car, everybody's car.
Arlo, you're wonderful. Why, you've got Santa and everybody switching to Autolite.
So, friends, follow the footsteps of Dasher, Dancer, Dunder, and Blitzen, and whip on down to your nearest Autolite service station or the dealer who sells your make of car, and ask for original factory parts and service.
Okay, Arlo. Right now, here's Suspense.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Herbert Marshall, starring in a gripping tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Back for the holidays. Hermione was so positive we'd be back for the holidays. That last afternoon, pouring tea for a few friends who had come in to say last-minute farewells, she kept reiterating it.
Now, mind you, Hermione, don't let those Americans lure your husband with one of their fat university jobs. We absolutely must have you with us for the holidays.
He will be back, I promise.
It's not absolutely certain, of course.
Wilfred, what do you mean it's not certain? Of course it's certain.
After all, Wilfred, old boy, you've contracted to lecture for only 2 months.
That's right. But then, of course, anything may happen.
Oh, Wilfred adores being unpredictable. Now, what other man would decide the very day, mind you, before leaving for America, to dig a great hole in the floor of the cellar?
In the cellar?
Yes, he's going to put some unclassified wild orchids down there. A devil's garden, if you please.
Oh, my God.
Sounds so mysterious.
Oh, my
That's
God.
Wilfred, though. It's really quite simple once you find out what he's up to. Now, take that telephone call he put through to you a few minutes before you arrived, Freddie.
To me?
Of course. Wilfred wanted to surprise me about your plan to meet us in New York next month. Wasn't that why he called? To ask you not to mention it?
But, my dear Hermione, Wilfred couldn't possibly have telephoned me within the past hour. I've been walking in the park since 3.
He didn't telephone you?
How could he? And as for my going to America...
No, come, Freddie. You may as well own up. Hermione has found me out again.
But, Wilfred, old chap, I really don't...
You see what a poor liar Wilfred makes. He's as red as a beetroot.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself, Professor? Stringing poor Hermione along like that. And as for you, Freddie, I'm furious. You said nothing to us about going to America.
But look here, old girl. I've been trying to tell everyone here...
Oh, stuff and nonsense. The game's gone on long enough. Besides, we must start getting ready. It was marvelous of all of you to come in to say goodbye. And don't worry about Wilfred's little jokes. I will bring him back for the holidays. You may rely on it.
They all believed her. For years, she'd been promising me for dinner parties, garden parties, committees. And the promises had always been kept. This time they wouldn't be. I'd seen to that. The servants were gone for good. The farewells all said. I had timed to the minute how long it would take to fill in the hole in the cellar. My devil's garden. Upstairs in the bedroom, I undressed, folded my clothes over a chair, put on my old bathrobe. Then I opened the door into Hermione's room. Hermione, have you a moment to spare?
Of course, dear. I'm just finished.
Then come in here for a moment. There's something rather extraordinary here.
Oh, good heavens, Wilfred. What are you lounging about in that filthy old bathrobe for? I told you to put it into the furnace.
I'll do it today. Yes, I really will. I promise.
Well, high time. Now, what is it you want to show me?
It is in the bathroom here. Just look. Who in the world is supposed to dropped a gold chain down the bathtub drain?
Nobody has, of course. Nobody wears such a thing.
Then what's this doing there?
Well, I don't see anything.
Here. I'll hold this flashlight for you. Lean right over. You can see it shining deep down.
Such a lot of nonsense. Just as well. I don't see it, Wilfred.
Go on looking, Hermione. In just a moment.
Wilfred, I absolutely refuse. Wilfred, what are you doing? Take your hands off my neck.
I will, Hermione, just as soon as I finish the arrangements for my trip to America.
What are you talking about?
You thought you were the only one who could plan things, didn't you, Hermione? Well, I've been making some plans of my own this past week. In exactly 1 minute and 45 seconds, you'll be dead. You see, I planned it very accurately.
You'll never get away with it.
I thought you'd say that, Hermione, but I will get away with it. You won't mind the smell of the leaf mold down in the cellar when I take you down there today.
Oh.
Yes, that's where you're going, Hermione. Into my devil's garden that annoyed you so much.
My friends, they all expect me back for the holidays. And if I don't come back, they'll start asking questions.
No, they won't. No, because you'll write them letters, Hermione, on the typewriters. You always do. They'll be signed H. In that neat, cryptic way you always sign your notes to your friends.
Oh, let me off now.
No.
It won't work, Wilfred. You were never any good at planning things.
Ah, but I've changed. I've learned from watching you all these years.
The lecture people in America. They'll be expecting you to travel with your wife.
I will be traveling with my wife, but not my present wife, Hermione.
What?
Fortunately, they've never met you. I'll write a few letters home for you, then fewer and fewer. I might even come back alone in a year or two and sell the place. Say you died in America. Nobody will ever suspect that you're lying under the floor of this cellar in this very house.
Wilfred, it won't work, I tell you. That pit you dug in the cellar.
I can assure you, my dear Hermione, it will serve its purpose well.
Wilfred, you must...
Sorry, my dear. I've got to get this done according to plan. You have just 5 seconds to say your prayers.
Wilfred, you must listen. The cellar is... Don't do it, Wilfred!
Oh, Stewart.
Yes, sir?
My wife is indisposed. She'll be taking her meals in our stateroom.
For the whole voyage?
Yes, for the whole voyage.
Well, I trust your wife is feeling better this morning, Professor Carpenter.
A little, yes, thanks. Not yet well enough to leave her cabin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, here's a copy of the radiogram you sent for your wife last evening.
Oh, thank you. I'll just check it over. But look here.
What is it? Did the typist make a mistake?
No. No, nothing important. She can correct it later. For a moment, I had a feeling that Hermione had been leaning over my shoulder again, correcting what I had written, as she always did. I had written a radiogram to Professor Goodenough and his wife. Have not been out of the cabin the whole beastly trip. Wilfred well. Doubt will be back for the holidays. The copy read, no doubt will be back for the holidays. Exactly what Hermione would have written. Well, the rest of the voyage was uneventful. And Marion and I met in New York just as I had planned. Just as I had planned. Professor and Mrs. Carpenter, we have reservations, I believe.
Oh, yes. We've been expecting you, sir. Boy.
Yes, sir.
Take Professor and Mrs. Carpenter's luggage up to their suite. You know, Mrs. Carpenter, you're quite a surprise.
Oh?
The letter reserving the rooms was so thorough. I was expecting an older, more forbidding sort of person, frankly, ma'am.
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, we are just married.
Yes.
But my letter reserving the room?
I wrote the letter, my dear, and signed it Mrs. Wilfred Carpenter, just as a joke.
What a cunning old fox you are, Wilfred.
Now that I think of it, I am rather.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's a letter for you, Mrs. Carpenter.
That's peculiar. I wonder who on earth...
Well, we'll find out in good time, honey. Come along. We're keeping the boy waiting. like a cold, brisk shower to put a man to rights.
Wilfred, this letter...
Oh, yes, letter. Darling, dry my hair, will you?
Yes, dear. It seems to be a bill of some sort from a building contractor in Salisbury.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, Buzzard, you're only...
All right, thank you, Miss Keith. Let's see this bill or whatever it says.
Yeah. It's very puzzling, Wilfred. You were a widower, weren't you? I mean, Hermione isn't still alive.
Oh, good heavens, no. Let's have that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Dear Madam, that's a good one. This is to acknowledge your order together with the keys to your house in Lonston Place. Our men had no difficulty in finding the place where your husband had begun the excavation in the cellar. But apparently he changed his mind at the last moment and filled it in again.
What is it, Wilfred?
Our men will begin digging tomorrow. You may rest assured that it will be a professional job and will be completed in ample time for your surprise Christmas present to your husband. We are happy to be conspirators with you in this thoughtful gesture, and hope that Professor Carpenter will be pleased with the results of our work that he so quaintly calls his Devil's Garden. Very truly yours, Paul Holt and Sons, Contractors.
Well, what does it mean, Wilfred?
It means that Hermione was right. I will be back for the holidays. Back for the holidays. Back for the holidays. Back for the holidays. Back for the holidays.
Thank you, Herbert Marshall, for a splendid performance. Mr. Marshall will return in just a moment.
Jingle bells, jingle through the snow. Your car's all happy, full of pep, with Autolite, you know.
Right you are. And by Cornelius, electrical problems won't keep your car down when you stop at the shop that features Autolite parts and service. Sure as Kris Kringle means Christmas, Autolite original factory parts and service top the town. So, friends, stop in tomorrow at your friendly Autolite service station or the dealer who sells your make of car and ask for original factory parts and service.
Autolite? You'll find Autolite service stations listed in your classified telephone directory under Automotive Electrical Equipment. And remember, your Autolite ignition system is the lifeline of your car.
Yes, friends, and remember, too, Autolite means spark plug.
Ignition engineered resistor spark plug.
Autolite means batteries.
Stay full battery.
Autolite means ignition system.
The lifeline of your car.
And now here again is Mr. Herbert Marshall.
It has been a pleasure to appear tonight on Suspense, and it is my pleasure to extend to all of you, for Autolite, Tony Leader and his Suspense cast and crew, and myself, best wishes for the holiday season. Next week, on radio's outstanding theater of thrills, you will hear William Bendix in another gripping study in
Suspense.
Herbert Marshall will soon be seen with Margaret O'Brien in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer production of The Secret Garden. Tonight's suspense play was dramatized by Robert Tallman from a story by John Collier. Music was composed by Lucien Morawek and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Ethel Barrymore, Dana Andrews, Robert Montgomery, Danny Kaye, and many others. So make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear William Bendix. And now, Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations present
Suspense. Tonight, Autolite brings you William Bendix in Breakup, a suspense play produced and directed by Anton M. Leader.
Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, is presented for your enjoyment by Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations. And friends, today is the very first birthday of Autolite resistor spark plugs. Yep, and a more popular one-year-old you never saw. That's why car owners everywhere are switching to Autolite resistor spark plugs, and no wonder. For when you replace your narrow gap plugs with wide gap Autolite resistor spark plugs, your car will idle smoother. You'll have better luck with lean gas mixtures, actually save gas dollars. What's more, wide gap Autolite resistor spark plugs cut down spark plug interference with radio and television reception. So, friends, don't debate, delay, defer, or defray, but drive down tomorrow to your nearest Autolite dealer and switch to a set of sensational Autolite resistor spark plugs. You'll be glad you did. And now, here is William Bendix in a tale well calculated to keep you in
Suspense.
Let him alone, Chick. Max, tell Chick to let him alone.
All right, Chick. Just use him for a footrest. It ain't often a fella gets a chance to wipe his feet on a cop.
Where are we taking him, Max?
Oh, to the end of the line, Marty. Then we give him a transfer. A steel jacket transfer. Get the picture, Chick? Chick gets the picture.
When, Max?
When we get over the bridge. Yeah, we'll make Callahan a good cop. And then we'll dump him. Chick, I said enough's enough.
Make it stick this time, will you, Max?
You're awful sensitive for an ex-cop. You with us, Marty?
What do you think?
I think maybe you're remembering that before they bounced you off the force, you and Callahan once teamed together on the homicide squad.
Once had long red curls, too. No, Max, what I'm remembering is the raw deal that Captain Brandt gave me. And the little murder rap Kivalan's been just sweating to pin on me.
Marty, tell you what.
Yeah?
You're all the time asking for a chance to climb up in the organization. I'm going to give it to you now. I'll let you combine business with pleasure as a personal favor.
I'm listening.
I'm going to let you put the quiet on Callahan all by yourself. How's that? I didn't hear you, Marty. I said, how's that?
How's that, he says. How's that? I leave it to you, Captain Brandt. You dealt the cards for this hand. How is it? Me, Marty Connors, turning cop killer. Are you satisfied, Brandt? We're on the Queensboro Bridge now. Me and Kivy. Remember your tough team of Connors and Kivalan? Only this time he ain't my partner, Brandt. He's my gun meat. I guess I should have expected anything. Anything at all once I started to roll on my own. No holds barred since the breakup. Just a lot of dirty infighting from the day Brandt put the skids under me in front of those newspaper vultures.
Yeah, well, what Brandt's going to do with you.
Morning, Chief. Hi, Kiv.
Hi.
What are those reporters doing outside?
Hand me your shield, Connors.
What?
I said hand me your shield. You're suspended on decision of the board.
But...
You heard me. You're going up on charges.
But, Brandt, give me a break.
I'll give him a break, Captain. Break? Tell me, Connors. Where were you last night?
Well, I had a date.
At a bar, huh? With a dame you never saw before.
Well, we had a few drinks and...
And what happened after that?
Well, you see...
I'll tell you. You're the only one who doesn't seem to know because everybody else read it in this morning's paper. A strange dame got you dead drunk at a bar. Rode you for your gun when you passed out. Tried to stick up, shot the joint to splinters, and was collared still carrying your gun. Now you know, do you still expect a break?
Sure, I expect a break. In the first place, I was off duty at the time. And in the second place, I've been on the force 11 years.
And third place, if it was 111, Connors, I'd still bounce you and bounce you hard. You going to hand me that potsy of yours, or do I tear it off your chest?
Here. Add it to your collection, Captain Brandt. I'm sorry about the verdict, Marty, but don't blame Brandt. Oh, sure. Don't blame Brandt. Blame me. I'm the first cop ever gets drunk, huh? Brandt don't drink. You don't, huh?
Well,
Not a one of you knows what liquor smells like, I suppose. It's a laugh.
Oh, stop it, Marty. What are you going to do?
Going out to tie one on. What'd you think I was going to do?
What are you trying to prove? Oh, Marty, look, you didn't get jammed up because of a drink now and then. It was a dame. With you, it's always a dame. You lose your head, Marty. You let him make a sucker out of you.
Lay off, kid.
It's the truth,
I said lay off. Lay off.
Okay, then. Oh, Marty. Marty, let's not... I mean, you and me, we... How you fixed for money?
I got enough. And pretty soon, maybe I'll have a lot more. Big bundles of it. I've already got a call from Doc Williamson and Max Shale.
What?
Nibble on that one, Kiv.
Marty, are you crazy? Steer clear of them.
Why? Show me why.
You know as well as I do. If you don't, well, just ask any of the boys on the narcotics squad. Oh, Marty, stop short, or I can see where you're headed just as plain as... Listen to me, Marty.
Go on.
No, listen to me. You tangle with Williamson and Shale, and no telling what can happen. One of us might one day have to go after you. It might be me.
You ain't on narcotics.
Narcotics and homicide don't mix, huh?
Mercy me. It gives his Sunday school. After the deal I got...
Look, if you'll only mark time for a while and not lose your head, the newspaper blast will die down, and I'm sure the commissioner will give you another...
Nuts to the commissioner and nuts to Brandt. This to him, look, all 5 fingers. And to you, Kivlan. And you stay away from me, you hear? Stay away, I mean it. I'm going to go line up that job right now.
So you're Marty Connors, huh? I can use you.
I can be used.
It pays $150 a week. I need a guard. You know the setup Max and me are in. We got a nice club, nice customers. A lot of them rich. It attracts cheap guns. And they figure maybe they can knock the place over and take all the dough around the gambling tables. Now, you have a reputation for being hard. That might stop the trouble even before it begins. That would be part of your job.
And the other part?
I carry a lot of money and 1 or 2 other things. I want personal protection. Well?
It's a contract. But is that all I do? Don't I get in on the big stuff? Not the gambling, the big stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The dust, Doc, the dust. That's what pays off.
I still don't know what you're talking about. But when I think you're worth more, I'll see that you get a chance to earn it. Until then, don't let your nose get dirty. You know what I mean?
I'm a too-hanky man. Hey, who's the long-legged redhead at the piano? Do I get a chance to protect her, too?
I handle that myself. Leave it strictly alone. Understand?
Sure. I don't blame you. Not the least little bit. So I went to work as a stalker for Doc Williamson and Max Shale. I'd call for Doc every night at 1, take him to the club, and then walk around the tables, and that was all. Bottom of the heap for weeks. I wasn't making any headway in that direction, but I was in another. Rita, I learned her name was Rita. Sometimes she'd be there when I called for Doc, but I might have been collecting the laundry for all the attention she paid, until one time I rang Doc's doorbell, and she answered it.
Hello, big fella.
Tell Doc I'm here.
He's not in.
When will he be back?
Not soon. Maybe. Won't I do?
Didn't he leave word?
He didn't leave anything. Except me.
I'll wait for him in the lobby.
What's the matter, Marty? Don't you like me?
Mm-hmm. I like Doc's watch and chain, too, but I don't heist it.
Why not? You're big enough. Maybe you take better care of it than he does. Maybe he treats it bad, leaves it around lonesome in a satin-lined case. Don't you need a watch, Marty?
Well, you can't tell. Might come a day when I'll need the right time bad. I thought about that watch a lot the next few days. The next time I rang Doc's doorbell and she answered it and said,
Hello, big fella.
Tell Doc I'm here.
He's not in.
You lovely, lousy, long-legged redhead.
Marty, Doc will be back in a minute. Where can we meet? I gotta see you.
My place tomorrow?
Yeah, your place tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. Marty, I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid of him.
But of Doc, he's just a yellow slob.
I think he knows about you and me. That we've been seeing each other the last few weeks. I'm scared. Marty, he beats me. Once he threatened to kill me.
Well, the next time he tries to flash this, you'll see how quick he'll fold. Here, take it. It's only a little 25 automatic. Put it in your purse.
No.
Go on, take it. Do as I say. What? Hold it in reserve. He raises a finger to you, draw fast, and watch him retreat.
You know, I feel better already.
Sure. That's why they call you the old equalizer. Was it about me he threatened to kill you?
No.
Who, another big fella?
No, nothing like that. He once found me going through his bureau.
What's the secret? He wears a girdle? All right, then, don't tell me. Here, have another drink.
Marty, you know what Doc and Max do for the really big money?
Well, sure, they peddle dreams. That's no secret. Not really. Why?
You know the setup?
Yeah, I'm just an arm, a yard and a half a week arm.
Well, I know the setup. I'm the only one who does, aside from Doc and maybe Max.
Well, go on.
Max does most of the work. He's distributing the stuff, but he gets a smaller cut than Doc does. You know why?
Because before you can distribute the stuff...
You've got to have it to distribute. Doc's the buyer. He has the contacts all over the world. And guess where he keeps what he knows? The addresses, codes, shipping dates.
Well, how would I know?
In a little green notebook in a chamois bag hung around his neck. That's why he hired you, Marty. Oh, Marty. Marty, do you know what it could mean to us if we had that notebook?
Yeah. He wears it on him, huh?
Around his neck.
Rita, listen hard. This evening before I come to pick him up, snuggle up to him. See if he can feel that chamois bag. If he's wearing it, give me the nod when I call from at 1. Do you follow me?
Oh, yeah, Marty, I follow you. Maybe I'm even ahead of you.
I went up there at 1. I rang and rang, but no one answered. When I tried the knob, the door swung open. Rita wasn't there. But Doc was. He would never be deader. He was lying face down, what was left of the face, on the bedroom rug. The room still smelled of cordite. A .25 shell lay near his feet. His body was still warm. I know because I felt it when I reached for the chamois bag, which wasn't there.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you William Bendix in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Okay, Harlow, give us a lowdown. Did you invite Mary and me to the studio just to hear you talk about Autolite resistor spark plugs?
Talk about them? Why, by conniving Cornelius, we're going to celebrate them. Because, Hap, you have the honor of being present at the first birthday party of those super sensational Autolite resistor spark plugs.
Gee, Harlow, have you got a birthday cake,
Have
too?
I got a cake? Why, I've got a cake studded with Autolite resistor spark plugs instead of candles. Hey, pull the card off that nearest plug, Hap, and read what it says.
Well, let's see. It says, replace your narrow gap plugs with me. If smoother idling, you would see. If you want more miles to cost less money, cuddle up and be my honey. Signed, ALRSP. Guess who?
ALRSP, Autolite resistor spark plugs, of course. Try another one, Hap.
Many happy returns of the day, Autolite resistor spark plugs say. P.S. To cut down interference on your radio and television, see that your car is in.
That's a rhyme.
Well, now, you wouldn't accuse me, would you?
I don't know.
Well, anyhow, Hap, now that we've had our fun, let's get back to Suspense.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage William Bendix as Marty Connors in Breakup, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I got out of Doc's apartment fast, left it just as I found it, him dead on the floor with the shell beside him. I had to find Rita, poor kid. She'd really be in a mess now. Everybody knew she was Doc's girl. I had to locate her in the chamois bag. I took a cab to her flat and let myself in. No Rita. That meant I would have to go hunting, but not without a gun, not now. I went home to pick up my police positive. It was in my bureau drawer. And snuggling next to it among the socks was Rita's little .25, with one chamber empty and a smell sharp as incense. So I was being suckered again. Kivy. Oh, well, Kiv, you old son of a gun. Well, come in. Come on in. Can I fix you a drink, Kiv?
I ain't here as social, Marty.
No?
No. Remember I told you I might be sent after you one day? Well, I'm sent.
What are you talking about, Kiv?
The elevator boy found Doc dead a few minutes ago.
So?
So you're the only one he took down from that floor since 10 o'clock.
Well, Kiv, you know what to expect from a sleepy elevator kid.
Why ain't you with Doc tonight?
Well, it's my night off. Kiv, you don't really think I've turned killer?
Why not? Oh, by the way, I know about you and that redhead. Come on, let's go, Marty. Brant wants to talk to you.
Brant, huh? I should jump at that. I don't hop bells for Brant now, Kiv. You know that. As far as I'm concerned, you and
Shut
Brant
up,
both...
Marty.
You don't make me. If Brant wants to talk to me, he comes here with a warrant yet.
Then I'll have to take you.
If you want it, copper.
You drawing on
Stay where you are, Kiv. You ain't bringing me in.
You big ape. You're trying to nerve yourself up to it? Oh, Marty.
Back, Kiv.
A guy would think you meant it.
I do mean it. I swear I'll let you have...
Not you, Marty. Not a next guy. Oh!
That ought to keep your nose out of it for a while, Kiv.
Sixth floor, sir.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Mr. Shale's apartment is just around there.
Thanks.
Max, Marty. Oh, Marty, I've been so worried about you. I've been sitting here dying by inches, Marty. I didn't know
A sweet frame you nailed together, a sweet one.
Is that what you think? Marty, honey, it wasn't. I swear it. I swear by all that's holy to me.
Such as what? $1 bill, maybe?
Marty, listen to me. When I got to Doc's, he was waiting for me. He knew all about us. He began to hit me. I did what you said, Marty. I took out your gun. My finger must have slipped.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a frame, Marty. I love you. Not that men would like me to say that to them, but I love you.
All right, stop it. I didn't mean to hurt you. Shh.
After I lost my head, I went to your place, but you weren't there. I put the gun in the drawer where I thought it would be safe, and I waited for you, but you didn't come. So I came here. I thought maybe Max would...
It's all right, baby. It's going to be all right. Now, shh, quiet. Let me have the chamois bag. Rita, the chamois bag. Let me have it.
I haven't got it, Marty. I didn't even look for it. I couldn't have touched him.
You're not lying to me now.
No.
It wasn't on him when I found him. He was clean. Rita, shh. Who would that be? Max, maybe?
Max would have come right in.
Who is it?
Elevator boy, sir.
What do you want?
The lady, Miss Carter, lost her gloves in the elevator.
You were wearing gloves?
I don't remember.
All right, boy, give him
Hold it, Marty.
Kim.
Nothing fancy now. You're covered. Okay, son. Thanks. Get back to your elevator.
Yes, sir.
Back in, Marty. Go on, both of you. Get back in. Well, you've lost a lot of savvy since you left the squad, Marty. Taking a cab here from the hack stand in front of your place. Huh. Marty Connors and Doc's baby together. Well, the DA won't have much of a job with this one.
No, I don't know anything about
Easy,
it.
baby, easy. He's got nothing on you.
A copper gone ratsy. Who'd have figured it? Get away from that phone, Marty.
No sucker, Kiv. We're getting a lawyer. You got things to ask. Wait for him.
You move again without I say move, and I'll plug you.
You wouldn't, Kiv.
Try me. You're just a cheap hood, and I'm treating you like one. The palsy stuff is through. You'll see Brandt first, you and the girl, and then you can call a lawyer. Let me at that phone.
Drop it, Copper.
Huh?
You're covered.
Max. Oh, Max.
Hand him, chick. Make sure he's clean. Okay, Marty. Relax.
This'll get you nothing but tears and moans, Shale.
Is he clean, chick? Okay, cold cock him.
Oh!
All right, now. What's it all about?
When I called for Doc tonight...
I'll get to you in a minute, Marty. Talk, Rita.
Doc's dead.
Good. Who did it?
I did. He showed fight when I told him to hand over the notebook.
Rita, you...
Shut up. Go ahead.
That's all. Except, here's the notebook.
Ah, nice going, baby. Got it at last.
Rita, you've been stringing along with him?
Sure she has. If it's any of your business, which it ain't.
You lousy redhead.
What's he so heated about?
Well, I used his gun and planted it on him.
You gave her your gun for the job? That guy's getting to be a habit with you.
Framed spotting the frame and then talked out of the spot by a lousy redhead.
Forget it, Marty. The frame is out. I need an arm like you now that Doc is dormy. All sorts of guys will get ideas about moving into the business. Look, here's the pitch. You gave Doc your gun last night because he asked for it. He was afraid of something. Didn't say what. That's your story. Stick to it. I'll set up an alibi for you for the rest of it. Leave it to me. Okay?
Okay. You lousy redhead.
What does this copper know?
Too much.
We dump him right now.
You can't. He came in with the elevator boy.
Chick, take care of it. Baby, you're leaving town in a hurry before they grab you. Start packing.
All right, Maxie.
Now, give me a hand with the cop, Marty. We'll take him out the back way. I said, give me a hand, Marty. Going to play it smart or not?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, Max. I'm going to play it smart.
Well, I'm still waiting for your answer, Marty. I've been waiting all the way across the bridge. Cut hard to the left here. Now. When you cut hard, don't you? How's Kivlin, chick? Nice and dark, ain't it, Marty? Yeah, this'll do. Pull up here. Cut the lights. I guess we're ready. Well, Marty? Chick'll do it if you won't. Okay. Stay a small-time hood. Chick, roll out the cop.
Wait a minute, Max.
Kivlahan goes. You don't pull that stuff, Marty. It's too late.
Not Kivlahan, Max.
Chick, roll him out.
Max!
Take your hand out of your pocket, chump. We're 2 guns to your 1. You're with me now, or else you go with Kivlahan.
Not Kivlahan, Max.
Chick, get him!
Kiv, are you all right?
Yeah, okay, Marty. Didn't touch me. You?
I'm okay. Help me get Max's overcoat off. I'm cold. He don't need it no more anyway. Let's dump them both in the back seat.
Okay.
That does it. You want to take the wheel, Kiv?
Yeah, sure. Oh, this is almost like old times, Marty. You and me together.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to have to take you in to see Brandt.
It's a good trick if you can swing it.
Huh?
I told you, if Brandt wants to see me, let him come.
Marty! Marty! How's he going to be, Doc?
Matter of minutes. If Captain Brandt wants to talk to him at all.
I phoned him. He should be here now.
Give.
Right here, Marty, right here. You're going to be okay, Sal.
Give. I heard the doc. Where's the top coat I was wearing? The one I took off Max.
Oh, yeah. It's right here, Marty. Here it is.
There's a little notebook in one of the pockets. Narcotics ought to see it right away. Yeah, that one.
Holy cow. Marty, you know what this is? What's in it?
Hello, Marty.
You see, kid, I told you Brandt would have to come to me if he wanted to see.
Marty. Marty!
He can't hear you.
He gave me this, Captain. You know what it is? It would have put him right back on the force.
He was never off it.
What?
That's right. It was a plant, right from the time he let the dame shoot up the saloon with his gun.
You planted him with that gang?
Don't look at me like that, Kiv. It was a good idea and it worked, and I ain't ashamed of having thought of it. It was the only way to get the goods on these dope runners.
Yeah, but
As for Marty, well, he was a good cop. And after all, this is what he was paid for.
Thank you, William Bendix, for a splendid performance. Mr. Bendix will return in just a moment.
Well, I don't know. Have you got any more birthday banter about Autolite resistor spark plugs?
No banter, Hap, just facts. For the fact is, those wide-gap Autolite resistor spark plugs are wonderful. They're sensational. They're ignition engineered. And there's a type for every make of car. Why, by Cornelius, everyone ought to switch to a set of Autolite resistor spark plugs right away. And now, Hap, here's one more rousing spark plug rhyme. Let's read it together.
Okay.
You can tell the difference in your car with Autolite resistor spark plugs there. Well, Hap, you certainly ought to remember this Autolite resistor spark plug birthday. And friends, here's something for everyone to remember. Autolite means spark plugs.
Ignition engineered resistor spark plugs.
Autolite means batteries.
Stay full batteries.
Autolite means ignition system.
The lifeline of your car.
And now here again is William Bendix.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to appear on Suspense. This is probably every actor's favorite program, and I know that...
Help! Help! Let me out!
Hey, there's someone in that closet. Well, Jack Benny, what are you doing in there?
Oh, hello, Bill. I'm glad somebody let me out.
Well, I don't get it. What's the idea, Jack?
Well, you see, Bill, I'm moving my program to CBS Sunday nights, and I thought I'd drop in and look over the studio, pick one out. And then all of a sudden, all that shooting started, and I hid in the closet.
Oh, well, I'm sure glad you didn't stop any of those bullets, Jack. We all want to hear you next Sunday night on CBS. Your program has always been on my must list, along with Suspense.
Well, thanks, Bill. By the way, what about next week's Suspense?
Next week, radio's outstanding theater of thrills presents Gene Kelly and Ethel Barrymore in To Find Help. Another gripping study in...
Bill, wait a minute. Bill, wait. Let me say it, will you?
Huh?
You know, that one word. Let me say it.
Oh, well, sure, Jack. Next week, hear Gene Kelly and Ethel Barrymore in To Find Help. Another gripping study in...
Suspense. Who said I can't do drama?
William Bendix appears through the courtesy of his own radio show, The Life of Riley, sponsored by Prell, and will soon be seen in the Paramount picture, The Streets of Laredo. Wally Mayer was heard as Kivlahan. Tonight's suspense play was adapted for radio by Joseph Ruskall and Walter Newman from the original story by Thomas Walsh. Music was composed by Lucian Morawek and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Danny Kaye, Robert Montgomery, Dana Andrews, and many others. Make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear Gene Kelly and Ethel Barrymore in To Find Help.
This is the Autolite Suspense Show. Take advantage of high prices for steel scrap. Turn in yours to your local scrap dealer. Good night. Happy New Year from Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Eve's house a little before 7:30. It was funny. I thought I was okay until I reached for the door handle. And then my fingers seemed to go dead, and my heart started going a mile a minute.
Harry? Is that you?
That's me. Sorry I'm late, Eve.
Oh, where in heaven's name have you been? Honestly, if you aren't the most aggravating... Harry Graham. What?
Huh?
Look at you. You look like you've been run through a threshing machine.
Yeah, I know. Let's go in and out. I'll clean up a little.
Well, what in the world happened?
I had a flat tire. I had to change it on the road.
Flat tire? Oh, fine. All right, wait right here. I'll get the whisk broom. Of all things to happen tonight.
All right. Happened. Lay off, will you?
Harry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, don't just stand there. While I'm doing this, take your comb out and start combing your hair.
Took my comb out and turned toward the hall mirror. Funny. I didn't look any different than yesterday or the day before that. I was still Harry Graham. After he finished with me, we went back to the car. Get in.
I tell you what, you're so upset anyhow. Why don't you let me drive into town?
Okay, if you want to.
See, now, I turn left at the next block, don't I, for the Canyon Road?
Canyon Road?
Yes, we can save some time going that way.
No.
Huh?
No, I don't want to go to Canyon Road. I want you to go the regular way.
Well, we're going to be late.
Do what I tell you. I'll drive the car myself.
But, Harry, we always...
Do what I tell you, Eve.
All right. I'll have to bite my head off. What have you got against Canyon Road?
It's too dangerous at night.
Well, all I've got to say is that when they picked you for the safest driver of the year, Harry Graham, they really hit the jackpot.
I still heard the horn, though, but far away, and another sound, too, like a bunch of empty crates toppling over and over. And at first, it didn't register with me. For maybe half a second, I just stood there wondering what happened. Then I saw the reflection of the flame lighting up the whole canyon. I went to the side of the road and looked down. The car was about 500 feet below, burning. And the horn still blasting away, like the driver's body had fallen against it. I started down the canyon. It was almost straight down. I fell and I rolled and I came to my feet again. Why didn't that horn stop? Why didn't it stop? And then it did stop. And I realized that I had stopped too. What was I waiting for? Oh, to get my wind, that's all. I went down another few feet. And I stopped again, holding myself against the tree. Come on, Harry. Get going. No. What good would it do to get down there? I couldn't help whoever was in that car. It was too late. Nobody could help. Then far down the road, I saw another pair of headlights starting the long climb. I went back to my car. I told myself I was going for help. I drove on to the top of the hill. There was a little gas station up there. They'd have a phone. I was almost there. An old fellow in white overalls was putting around the pumps. I started slowing down. My whole life was about to be smashed. I'd have to tell them the truth, and what good would it do? What about Eve? What about my kid brother Teddy? What's more important than a man's own family? I'd reached the gravel driveway to the gas station. The old guy heard me coming and started straightening up. No. I swung back onto the highway and pushed the accelerators to the floor. It could have happened to you. It was supposed to have been one of them days you circle on the calendar with a red pencil. You see, with a little town like ours, 23 miles from the big city, right on the main highway, we get the speed artists going both ways. Yeah, and every couple of days they manage to leave something behind to remember them by. Like a kid with a broken back or, well, you get the idea. So a couple of years ago, the Chamber of Commerce started a safety campaign to name the safest driver of the year. Something to kind of keep the guys on their toes. And this year, the fellow they chose for the award was yours truly. And tonight was the big doings with a few well-chosen words from me, a lad who was a public speaker, was a wonderful bus driver. I got to the house a little after 6. Teddy, my kid brother, was just leaving.
Hiya, big shot.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, the world's champion driver.
That's me, all right.
Hey, that's a swell picture of you in the paper. You don't look so bad for an older man.
Right, or I'll beat your ears in.
Say, Eve called to say you should wear your blue suit and try to look human. That I would like to see.
Me, too.
Sorry, I can't wait, though. I'm late for a date. I'll see you in the morning, and you can tell me how you slaved.
All right, Ted. So long. I gave myself the works. Shower, shave, the blue suit like the lady said. Eve looked after me like I was at least 5 years old. Well, I didn't mind a bit. Ever since Ma died in 42, I kept the house going for Teddy because a kid needs something like that. But he was getting out of school in June, and then maybe Eve and I... Well, it was nice thinking about it. So nice that I guess I forgot all about the time that was passing. Yeah?
Look, slow motion. You should be halfway over here by now.
Okay, Eve, honey. Got the speech ready?
Yes, but if you...
In just a moment, Autolite presents Suspense with Jimmy Cagney.
Hello. Tonight I understand we have an Autolite Suspense special. Every bit as special as your star performance as the Autolite Resistor Spark Plug Maestro.
Is that a plug for me or for my favorites Autolite Resistor Spark Plugs, Hap?
Well, with no offense to either, Harlow, it's neither. Tonight, Jimmy Cagney and Autolite and Suspense are dramatizing one of our great American tragedies. It's so tremendous a problem it warrants our entire nation warring against its grimness and the Grim Reaper who is its symbol. Tonight's suspense story will remind you to drive carefully behind Autolite resistor spark plugs or any other, Harlow.
Then let's join the Autolite audience and listen.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. James Cagney in Anton Leader's production of No Escape, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The only thing I can do now is tell you how it happened, without any bunk. I don't care what you've heard or read about me. I'm not a devil or a mad dog. I don't know what people think happens to a fella. Do they think all of a sudden I turned into stone? I'm no different than anybody else. If I don't eat, I get hungry. If I cut myself shaving, I bleed. I'm just like the next guy, and that's the whole idea. It happened to me, sure, but it would have happened to anybody.
Don't get moving. You'll be making that speech to a bunch of empty chairs and dirty plates.
Yes, Mama. Be right over. Eve lived outside of town. I'd really have to step on it to pick her up and spend some time rehearsing the speech. I'd then get to the high school auditorium by 8. I got into the car, and I decided to take the canyon road through the hills where there wasn't any traffic. I could make better time that way. Now, wait just a second. Let me get my thoughts together. I got to get this part exactly right. You've got to see it just like it happened, or else it's all a waste of time. All right. I was on the canyon road that wound up through the steep hills, the wall of the mountain on one side of the road, and the deep canyon on the other, about 10 to 7, but already dark. Nobody on the road but me, so I stuck pretty close to the middle. And at every turn, the scream of the tires. But I wasn't worried about that. 4 brand new tires, hardly a week old, and good brakes. I never take chances with things like that. Going about 50 miles an hour, maybe a little bit better. But I was all alone on the road, so what difference did it make? I was maybe 2/3 of the way up to the top, right where the road makes a wide curve. I remember I put a cigarette in my mouth, and I pushed the dashboard lighter in. I heard the lighter click, and I started reaching for it. And then a pair of headlights blazing out of nowhere. And then a screeching horn. A car coming the other way. I felt my inside double up like a fist. I slammed my foot on the brake, swung the steering wheel to the right. I didn't feel anything hit, and I thought, oh, God, it's going to be okay. I jammed on the emergency. I jerked the door open. Now look back. The road was empty.